Hello, and welcome back to the Firepreneurship Show. This is episode 30, and in this episode, we are going over simplifying content creation strategies. And I am joined by Dana. How are you doing, Dana?
Jim Dandy, thank you much.
Good to hear. So, just a quick rundown of what we will be talking about, just like following the outline of the blog. So, we'll be talking about utilizing analytic tools, conducting competitor analysis, about the importance of talking in a clear and concise way with your customers, and using visual content to help illustrate what you're trying to get across, and about repurposing not only your content, but things in your life as well. So, with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Ready? Aim, fire. Like we said in the intro, we're going to be talking about utilizing analytic tools and the impact that has on your business as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I will turn the time over to you, Dad. Just talking about, in your experience, the 40 years of experience that you have working at Turf Plus, being the business manager, the owner, how data has really driven your decisions over the years. Just kind of speak to that a little bit.
I guess bottom line on data is that you can either have 40 years of experience or you can have 41-year experiences where you're not learning from or using data appropriately. It's critical to know exactly what's going on.
So yeah, like the blog mentions, when we use analytic tools, we're able to see what our audience is interested in, so that we can write or create our content catered to what our audience likes. We can also find out how they behave, where they like to hang out, key things like that. And so, like you were saying, Dad, about your business. It helps you know exactly what services you're offering to your customers that they appreciate the most, and like how much they appreciate it, and what you can change, how you can do better.
Yeah, it's important to continue to ask. And I know this is about analytics, so that but when you're out and about with the customers, talking to them, it's important to have those conversations that allow them to express themselves so that you can continue to gather individual pieces of information from each, meaning gather information from each individual customer so that you can continue to analyze that and piece it together so you come up with a good composite to understand generally what your customers are looking for, and then specifically so that you can tailor it within reason to each of your individual customers.
All right, so let's move on to our communication style, talking clear and concise with our customers, our readers, in the case of blogs or viewers, whatever. So when it comes to blogging or content creation as a whole, you really want to make sure that your message is getting across in a very clear way. You don't want to be using too much jargon or too technical of terms, but you do a little bit so that you can show that you know what you're talking about. But make sure when you do that to describe what that term means. Kind of fill them in so that they're not confused. When it comes to content marketing, if people get confused, then they'll click away. You're going to lose your audience that way. So you need to make sure that you're communicating clearly. So Dad, with Turf Plus, if you'd like to speak to the importance of talking to customers in a clear and concise way, or even employees in a clear and concise way, and how you have seen that help out in your time at Turf Plus, and how miscommunications have impacted you as well.
Yeah, I think the miscommunications are the things that teach you the most because they can have some pretty crazy ramifications. To me, I find it very helpful every time I have a conversation, either with an employee or with a customer, to just take a, even if it's 5-10 seconds, and analyze what went well and what you could improve in, and what the customer misunderstood or what they did understand. Make sure that while you're talking to them, that you're restating and asking questions to make sure that you are understanding what they're saying, and then afterwards kind of go through it. If think about it in terms of, if I were to do this over again, what would I change? And then as you do that, your conversations in the future will continue to improve.
I agree. Yeah, practice makes perfect. And so the more we practice, the more we make mistakes, and we learn from those mistakes, the better. So yeah, I really agree with that. We just need to put ourselves out there, and eventually, if we don't already know how to communicate, we'll learn along the way. And then, so moving on to visual content with like a blog, or especially like a video, you're going to need visual aids, something, a picture or a video clip, or something along those lines, an infographic that will help you illustrate your point. That is very helpful when it comes to content marketing. It is helpful in general because, generally speaking, we are visual learners as human beings. And so, Dad, I don't know if you want to talk about that for a bit, how using visual aids has helped you, or Turf Plus as a whole, communicate or train your customers when it comes to taking care of their lawn from their side of things, and also training your employees so that they're up to par to be able to service your customers.
We use a lot of visual aids when we're one-on-one with the customer. And that could be used, obviously on the internet also. One of the biggest problems that customers have is brown spots, and most of those are due to the lawn getting dry. People have a sprinkler system, and they do it so that they don't have to, constantly be going out and turning on and off the water. They can just turn it on and forget about it. The problem is no sprinkler system has totally even coverage. And so you have to keep refining it. And even that, you'll never get it to be perfect. At any rate, so a lot of customers have drought in their lawn. In fact, you can drive down the street and see just about every lawn having at least some drought in it. And so we use our probes a lot to probe the green areas, which usually are wet, and to probe the brown areas, which usually are dry. And we can physically show them the moisture of the soil. We pull it out, we touch it, so that they can see how it clings together. They know that it's moist in those green, wet areas, and then in the dry areas, we probe it. As we pick up the dirt, dust flies off. It's an excellent way of convincing the customer that that spot is dry at the moment and is causing damage to the lawn, because everyone knows that plants need water in order to do well. So those visual aids are just critical, I think, in all communication. If people can see in their mind what you're seeing in your mind, you've communicated. If they can't, then there'll be miscommunication.
Yeah, so I totally agree with that. Miscommunication happens all the time, and anything that we can do to avoid it is a good thing to do. I just like hearing you explain the stuff that you do, that you show to your customers to really drive home your point, what you're trying to teach them. Sounds really impactful. I mean, I have been a specialist, and you can just kind of see in their eyes oh, okay, when you show them like this is the soil underneath. This is what it looks like from the surface, and all of that. So yeah, I think that really illustrates the importance of visual aids, how we are visual learners and we really need that visual help to be able to understand what people are trying to say to us. Okay, so now let's go ahead and talk about repurposing content and repurposing lessons in life in general. The blog post talks about repurposing your content, like if you have a blog post where you talk about 10 things you should know about dogs, just as an example, then you can break that up into 10 individual videos or small snippets of your blog post. Then you can repurpose it to be for social media, and you can push that out to your audience via social media. And so that's what repurposing is. You can read more about it in the blog article. But with Dana's expertise, let's talk then about repurposing life lessons and other ways that you utilize the concept of repurposing in your line of work.
I think that each day we're learning a lot more than we realize, and we can take that information, and even though it's very different, we can liken it to the new situation and be able to make even better decisions. Really trying to think of repurposing and how we've done it in Turf Plus. I guess you could also think of it in terms of every time you do something, the next time you do it, you can tweak it and improve it. And that helps you grow and improve.
Yeah, a lot of times in life we learn things that we don't really think apply to, say, lawn care. But when we become lawn specialists, we realize, oh, well, this is actually a useful skill in this area. So we never know what we have learned in the past can apply to what we're doing in the present. And the same thing goes with content marketing. You never know how much what you've done in the past can help you in your present content marketing endeavors. All right, and that does it for all of the topics in the blog post. So we're going to go ahead and end this episode. We appreciate you guys taking the time to listen or watch, whichever one you are doing right now. And want to let you know, as always, please reach out to us if you want to be a part of the conversation. You can leave a comment in your respective platform where you're listening, or you could send us an email at info@firepreneurship.com and entitle it Podcast Voicemail, and we will review that, and you might be a part of an episode in the future. You never know. And thank you so much, Dad, for taking the time to be a part of this episode as well. And we'll catch you all next time. Our mission at firepreneurship.com is to help people like you achieve FIRE, financial independence, retire early through entrepreneurship. We offer educational materials like this podcast, but most of all, we offer outsourcing services to help you automate the business you started to bring you financial independence, so you can focus on what you love the most about running your business, or if you want, step away from your autonomous business altogether and retire early. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Firepreneurship Show. To show our appreciation, we've created a page full of helpful resources for you and your business. To access it, visit firepreneurship.com/resources. Again, that's firepreneurship.com/resources. It's time we signed our own Declaration of Financial Independence.